Open Scituate Board of Health meeting, Scituate Town Hall, Selectmen's Hearing Room, Monday, April 7th, 2014 at 7 p.m. And take a motion to accept the agenda.
Make a motion to accept the agenda with our Monday, April 7th Board of Health meeting.
Second it, all those in favor?
Aye.
Cool. All right. What did we say? Meeting minutes? You emailed those out?
We're gonna wait.
I had one set, and I have like 3 more, I believe, that
Okay.
have come on the way.
I don't know why I didn't get them. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. I'll have to double check. And Michael, did Michael email? He might not be here.
Mm-hmm.
He did. Like I said, I got in late and
Correct.
I crashed.
Now, he's just off the plane from Vegas an hour ago.
I got back to Scituate an hour ago.
Wow. So man, I don't have a good story here. My excuse isn't coming up to par.
We are on TV. Remember? This is being recorded.
That's okay. I got nothing to hide. Okay, so meeting minutes, we'll put those on hold. And we are almost at 7:10, so we'll just wait another minute.
All right, I'm going to be in I'm going to be in Wednesday, Thursday this week. Next week, I have meetings. One of these wants me to go to, so there's 2, so I'll probably be on Tuesday, Wednesday, because I have another meeting on Thursday.
I never saw February or March, your minutes, your logs that you did, or you know,
I did February's, I don't,
you did.
Mary can forward that to you, forward him the February report.
Oh, the directors,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
And
March.
the March one I haven't done yet. I'll be probably doing that Wednesday.
Okay, that's, hey, is that your leisure? Is that your leisure?
Well, I've got all the details, I just gotta I got it from, my details, and I got the nurse's details, I just gotta put them together.
You?
Very welcome, thank you.
She wants it by the 10th of every month, so I didn't bother, knowing I was coming back, I didn't bother cranking it out.
Well, the official clock on the wall here in the Selectmen's Hearing Room says 7:10, so we will move forward to 7:10 p.m. hearing, 90 Stockbridge Road, housing issues.
Okay, I had a tenant complaint, I did an inspection, I sent it to the landlord, I've heard from 2 people, from the landlord's side. They wanted hearings because they're already in a adjudicatory process with the tenant. And so I gave them tonight for the hearing.
What are the issues?
The issues are,
Hold on a second, we'll get to
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
tub tile needs some regrouting, test the well water, because they're not on public water, I have no idea what that water supply is. There's a leaky pipe in the basement, there's no heat in the back room, it was 40 degrees, it's been disconnected, I don't know if there's a frozen line or what. The tenant keeps the heat at 50 degrees due to extreme oil costs, says he spends $80 every 2 days on oil. There's no light for the stairs to the 2nd floor, pump the septic system, it must be pumped every 3 years, this is per Title V. Tenant says it hasn't been pumped in the 5 years of his stay. The tenant has an open dumpster in use, no railing on stairs to 2nd floor, cellar stair railings not secured and no balusters, no locks on doors and windows, building not posted with owner management information, no smoke detectors, doors not weather tight, fireable asbestos in cellar in the back room, higher state for asbestos coming from remediation, get air inside air tested. Heat disconnected in back room, tenant finds kitchen, light blows, circuit went on, leaky pipe for the solenoid on pressure tank, mold on pipe lagging in basement, mold on insulation under the back room, possible white mold on basement cement patches.
Now, is that an inspection report you did? Okay, so you went in, looked at the house, and whose request was that at? Was that at the, the tenant's request, okay.
He told me he had to pay his rent, he didn't tell me he was in a judicial process.
Yeah,
He told me that he was gonna be going to court again, but he didn't give me any results of anything, which doesn't matter, I still have to generate the report.
no, you went and got called, you have to generate a report, that's right.
So, you know, we notified the landlords, and then I heard from Mr. Scituate and a manager, Mr.
That's myself, Ivo, yeah.
Ivo.
Ivo Cole, yeah.
Ivo Cole. And he said he would be coming tonight, so.
Okay.
He's here.
There you go. You can introduce yourself for the record and,
Great. My name is Ivo Cole. I'm the property manager for 90 Stockbridge Road and power of attorney for Peter Cole. So basically, yeah, the tenant hasn't paid about 5-6 months worth of rent, just to,
doesn't matter to us.
I totally understand. I just want to, create a little bit of a background. I had several communications with the tenant about the heat in the back room only. That was the only thing that the tenant notified me about in February of this year, which we had this issue last year as well. Same month, actually, February of last year, I had my plumber repair the
Steam radiator.
pipe, the broken pipes.
No, it's not a steam radiator in the back room.
Hot water, right to hot water,
Forced
wastewater.
water.
Yeah, the back room, I think, is an add-on to the original house.
Correct, yeah.
It's got a separate foundation.
Right. So we made that repair. I wasn't, he was supposed to, my plumber was supposed to come back after February of 2013 to replace a pump. We made several attempts to contact the tenant to set up that appointment to fix the pump. Never heard back from him. I guess his phone was shut off, so on and so forth. There were.
Did you try mail?
Nope, we didn't try mail. At that point.
I would say if you do mail, you probably get the advice, either
Right.
yourself or an attorney, certified return receipt.
Right,
And the other thing to do is if you send it certified return receipt, and they know that, you send it also first class, don't put a return address on it.
okay,
Then they usually pick them up. And then you could say the first class was not returned,
right,
so.
okay. All right.
Tricks of the trade.
If they put prize department on it, they usually pick those up real quick.
Well, in any event, we did end up going back to court April 3rd and made an agreement with the tenants. They're going to.
April 3rd, 2014?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. We made an agreement with them. They're going to vacate willingly in 2 months. We gave them another 2 months to find another place to live. So they're going to vacate willingly at that time, end of May. And we will not re-rent the property until all of these issues are taken care of. And an inspection is done again by the Board of Health. So.
Some of these issues, I'd have to go back over them again, but how's that work, Jennifer? I mean,
I swear.
now we know this.
You've got to get in there, you've got to do some minimal work. And if it takes us intervening with him to get you in there, then we'll do it. But I want to see a minimum of smoke detectors,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to see a minimum of locks on the main doors.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming that smoke detectors with carbon monoxide, steam heat, they got fossil fuel.
Yeah, they usually come with, yeah.
Usually they're combos anyways
And
nowadays.
I think it's.
That's more important than anything. If the tenant doesn't let you in there to do that, that's
Right.
just,
Regulation now to have both?
oh, yeah.
That's
Oh,
yeah.
But.
Well, you have to anyways, but
If
it's,
you have gas, it's only if you have gas.
yeah, castor oil, fossil fuel.
So,
Did Teresa speak with you, the previous tenant?
oh, yeah, Teresa, and I go way back.
Okay.
Okay. you know, and I know what she said, but it still doesn't change this. I mean.
Right. Well, if I
uh,
put the smoke detectors up and they just rip them down, I mean, I've
Well,
seen her
well-
smoke.
What you
inside
do-
the home.
What you do is
The
you,
smoking's not gonna set a smoke detector off.
no, but
Okay.
you are, the way to do that is to arrange that with the fire department.
Okay,
So that way you get the certificate that you can bring in and give it to the Board of Health office. That way there's proof at least for, I think they're good for 30 days, 60 days. And then you got the proof. You gotta pay the extra $35, but
right.
that's a big one off the list. And I think, to me, my own personal opinion, it's got nothing to do beyond anything. It covers you a little bit with liability. I had it done,
A lot of light.
yeah.
And the other thing is where you post the building, the way they say to post the building is obscene. Nobody would want it. It would ruin any decor. So what I say is put it on an index card and then put it on the inside of a kitchen cabinet door. That way they have the information, it's easily accessible, and it doesn't ruin decorations or whatever.
Was that the landlord,
Contact information.
Yeah. Whoever they're supposed to, whoever the owner is, whoever the manager is, whatever number they're supposed to call.
right.
You know, you want them to call direct someone from heat or plumbing, then you can put that number as well, but
Sure.
whatever.
The problem is, we've been notified of this stuff, so we have
Right.
to act, and it's.
Right. Oh, no, we understand.
And unfortunately, whatever the situation is with
Right.
you or them, it does not matter to this board. It's the safety,
And
the health.
90% of this letter was our first notification of any of these problems.
So I guess what we're looking for is some forward progress, even if those people are moving out.
Sure.
You might as well go ahead and get somebody to pump the septic, because it's gonna have to get pumped anyway.
Right.
And again, that's a receipt. When you get the receipt for that, drop it off at the office. That lets us know, yes, you're doing something. Whether those people are moving out in 2 months or not, forward progress,
Right.
you know?
You know, it's one
And
less
and I
thing
understand
to
there
do.
might be some big things that you might not be able to get in to do that, but as long as we see that some of these things that can be taken off the list.
And some of the doors, a real easy fix is gonna be to put a flange on the bottom.
Okay. That was very, oh, you're talking about the weather type? Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
The front door is really the only issue, right? Yeah, there's that big wooden door that's kind of,
Yeah, well, there's another door over on the side, but I don't think he put in some kind of a screen panel there just so he could get air. But I think that needs a lock too. I don't think there's a lock on that either.
okay.
It's on
I'm
the side,
surprised,
it's a side
I'm
window.
surprised to hear that. I don't understand how that could have happened.
Well, I don't know, but,
That doesn't even make any sense to me, a door without a
The
lock.
asbestos is,
the asbestos, you need to try and get somebody in there to at least evaluate what we need to do,
Mm-hmm.
and to block up that
Mhm.
area.
Yeah, we're not sure how, I mean, the building,
I think that what happened is the plumber needed access to the pipe, and they had to go through the foundation to get to the pipe. And when he went through the foundation, the plumber in turn told him
mhm.
that that stuff was there. So,
Really? Interesting. Hmm.
I don't know. I
Okay.
mean, there is lagging on the
That's
old
just an
pipes that are
assumption.
in the cellar.
Mhm.
I can't, it's not all, that isn't all in horrible condition except the mold that's growing on it. But, it was definitely, looked like mold was in the insulation that was under the, back room.
Okay.
So anyone who goes in there is gonna have to mask up.
Mm. That makes sense with the burst of pipe from last year.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah. So, I will send you a letter
Okay,
that will summarize the ones we want you to take care of.
okay.
If you never get a hold of him by phone, then try mail.
Mhm.
And the way is, I will be sending him a confirmatory letter based on what we did here. And what I will say is, he will be sending you a letter asking you for 2 times, different times, to give, let's say, 3 hours each, that you can have access to the property to do repairs. And when you send him that letter, you copy it to me, so he knows I know you sent it.
Okay.
And if he fails to respond, my letter to him is gonna be, I will be coming after him
Okay.
for failing to allow you access for repairs. And I don't care that you have, you know, agreement for him to leave in 2 months. This is all about him now,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
okay?
Yes.
And he should be able to give you 2 reasonable times that you can get somebody in there and do some of those things,
Okay.
okay?
Save receipts, document everything, whatever else. And I, unfortunately, I would
Sure.
suggest to him the same thing, to document everything going the other way. So I just wish you luck with it, that's all.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate
like I
it.
say, I would like to see some forward progress with some of that stuff that can be taken care of rather easily.
Yeah, I just,
And
I'll-
document receipts.
Sure.
That way we got it, it's in the file.
Yeah. Okay.
Even phone calls, take a notebook with just a page on it, just so you can write it down, so we know.
Who is the tenant? One says Scott Barnes and this one says, that Whitney?
Scott and
This
Tony
is-
Barnes there,
Oh, it says,
husband and wife.
oh, okay.
We think.
Well, it says Tony Cumbo and then it says Scott Barnes.
Yeah, well,
Tony.
I'm not sure
That was their
she's,
maiden name.
I'm not sure if they're married or not.
Just curious, because
Oh,
one says
really?
one and one says the other, so.
I didn't know that.
Well,
I thought they were.
well, I did too, but Teresa sort of said different.
Ah, okay.
But it doesn't really matter. I mean,
doesn't.
Just gonna say that's irregardless for this, for this
No.
conversation.
I mean,
Just my curiosity.
Their kids,
there were
their
two different
kids are in
names.
their 20s and they're still together, so you might as well say they're married.
Mm.
So,
Do appreciate you coming in tonight. Thank you.
Sure, yeah, no, thank you.
Any other questions, concerns, anything?
I don't think so.
Good. Okay.
Thanks very much.
thank you very much.
Great.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
New business? New business. Old business, continued discussion, well regulations.
Okay, buddy boys, I went over those well regs last night. Let me just say this, Walpole has no section on definitions, and in their enforcement, they have nothing about fines or anything. Now, when I looked at Rainham, they have a section on pump houses that I liked. It was 3.5. There was 2 of them, 3.5, 3.51.
That was raining?
Yeah, and then in 5.5, it was all about irrigation, because Walpole only talks about drinking water wells. So if we're gonna do one set of regulations, I'd like to see us cover them both and get done with it.
It was interesting, I was watching a guy doing some boring samples the other day, and we got talking about wells. That's what he's a well driller, but he was doing boring samples. And even irrigation wells should be tested. And it was a funny point he brought up, but it struck home. In the summertime, you get an irrigation well and you're running your water in your lawn, and it's a hot summer day. Well, who likes to play in sprinklers but kids? And if kids are playing in the water, it's good to know what might be in that water, because, geez, you get it on your face and you lick your lips, or you get it in your ear, or it's, there might be something some thought there for testing. But it was a good point he brought up, so I'm gonna bring it up here. It really made me think about it, kids playing in sprinklers. I mean, it sounds as silly as it does, but.
Testing non-potable water then.
Yeah, I think even just for coliform or whatever else that might cause an earache or a stomach problem, or,
Okay.
does it make sense?
That logic is fine. That logic is fine.
It was funny how, just a funny thing, kinda, you get talking to people and brings up a point, and yeah, that's it, the logic.
Okay, I'll work something on that in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fines, when we do fines, a fine set up to cover costs if there's a problem.
When you look at this Norwood fine, the fine is $500. And this is each day's failure to comply with an order from anyone else shall constitute a.
Well, you
violation.
put it in there as a deterrent, basically.
Right. Yeah, that's a pretty big deterrent there, $500 per
It
day.
is.
Yeah.
Well, usually then you have to get court to do it, and usually they won't, so.
Right.
And then you can ask them for lawyer costs or whatever too, but, Orleans, I think the definitions are good. And, under their location section, where they set certain setback differences, and they say maximize as much as possible, I think that's a very good
Oh, you
phrase
liked Orleans?
to put, well, just in that section.
Because I liked, I said section 3.3 for Norwood, I like their distances right here, because it constituted everything, as opposed to what they had here, as opposed to
Well, if you look,
whatever I saw.
there's also, if you look in the state guidelines, they have setbacks from overhead wires, because if you have to have your rig or your repair there, you don't want your backhoe, which is metal, touching any wires. And then the other thing is, they want it could be a certain way, distance from a roadway, but they also wanted a certain distance from the pavement because of the runoff. So that's something I want to look at too.
Jennifer, I don't have the Orleans one, I don't think we got the Orleans one.
Will we, Mary, you get your copy.
All right.
We can make it a copy right after this.
No, that's all right.
I think the wires one, that's an interesting thing, because if the well's already in, then they put wires over it, you kind of, but I think the well drill is going to dictate, because those derricks go up.
Really high.
I know.
Yeah, they're
But
not-
it's before the house is built. But then if you had to go in and do a repair, or redig it, you could be under the wires. So you just want to, you want to make
The only
that,
repair usually is just pulling it out and replacing the pump head. I mean, that's 99% of the repairs. Is it?
well, if you
Right.
had to
So it's not a
abandon it,
derrick
you would
and all.
have
Right,
to.
it's
Then you'd
not-
have to re-drill it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. The other thing that I'm questioning, just based on this Tory Lane one that I'm looking at now, is that the two wells aren't that far apart. And now where am I seeing the distance, a setback distance from between one well and another? Because technically, they're probably drawing out of the same aquifer.
I don't see that anywhere. I
No,
didn't see that.
so I was thinking I'm gonna call DEP and see if there's any
Regulation.
thing
I think
they
there
know,
is, yeah.
they know about.
I'm pretty sure there is, because even if it's the same aquifer, you're still, you could cause
Your
a,
drawdown, they're probably overlapping.
that's right, that's the thing I'm thinking of, the gray circles with the
Same water
drawdown.
table, the same.
Right, but if you're both pumping at the same time, you could theoretically pump that area dry. I mean, the water will come back in, but you could pump it dry. I think that's the idea. I think that's the thought. If you had two of them, 20 feet apart.
The other thing that has come to light on this Tory Lane property, which I have not yet advised the engineer of, because it took me to last Friday to meet up with the fire chief and go over some past information that he was unaware of. They're probably not gonna be able to do wells there because they're not close enough to a fire hydrant. And in a special permit for those lots granted in 2006 by the planning board, it says, if the fire chief dictates, they have to be within 300 feet of a fire hydrant, and they're not. So they're probably gonna have to run the line and put in another fire hydrant.
Where's Tory Lane?
It's off of Greenfield Lane, Cedar Crest, and that area.
So that's a dirt road up there, isn't it?
Well, the very end, yeah, yeah. So, that's what's gonna happen with that property.
Yeah, you couldn't pump enough water out of a well to put out a fire, I'm sure. And if the house is on fire, then you got an electrical short, you got no well. So, makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Yeah, so, that's gonna be something I talk to the engineer about on Wednesday. He's probably totally unaware of it too, because they're new to the property, and it was, like I said, it was 2006.
Yeah.
So,
What are they doing? Are they knocking something down or rebuilding?
no, they're vacant lots.
Oh, they're-
They subdivided them into a 50-foot frontage lot and regular lot. Now they're getting two houses on it. So, all right, so that's where I am so far in these regs, so what I'm gonna try and work with Mary to
Mesh
sort
it together.
of mesh some of it together, and I'm gonna call and get a couple of different answers on a couple of things.
You're adamant about, the definitions, that's probably a good idea, so I go
Yeah.
back to them all the time.
Well, it's sort of.
Marshfield has good definitions.
I'm gonna look at it, I know Orleans is easier to read than Marshfield's, but I'm gonna look at Marshfield's again to see if, I think there was one or two I wanted to pull out of there too that wasn't in, sort of covered. And then and the other thing is I'll go over the state guideline one on their definitions and just see, I think they don't have definitions, but they have a glossary or something in the back, which is what, they have all these appendices stuff. So I'll look at that as well.
Okay.
But it's just so we're all speaking the same language.
Yeah.
And then, after we get a mesh set, then we need to fine tune it. And,
I think that's
I
a great
have-
idea, though, mesh those together, what you think, and
Yeah.
then we can read those over
Yeah.
as a whole.
and then,
If there's
I'm
anything we're missing.
friends with one of the board members in, Norwell, who's a, hydrogeologist. And I think if I'm really nice, he'll look at it for me. And I think that will give us a good idea if we're missing something or backwards about something. We can get it straightened out. And then, of course, when we're happy with the final draft, then we go to hearing, public hearing.
Yes, and we have some definite boards that we want to review this.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Water
we-
resource and.
Yeah, we'll definitely give it to the water resources and, the water department,
Everybody,
Yeah,
Well, everyone, we open
There's a few
everybody,
people you really
but,
wanted to look
yeah,
at.
but,
Yeah.
we
That's just gonna be
definitely
out
want
there.
those people to look at it, so, yeah. But
Cool.
I think we've got a good chunk down here that we can, we're narrowing the avenues.
That's
We're
all.
getting there.
That's all, perfect. All right. Administrative invoices, approvals, we've already signed all those, we're good? Awesome.
And there was no new business?
Not that I know about. I just emailed you a new,
I saw that.
email on, turbines and low frequency and a video in Portugal and
Yeah.
whatever. I copied it to Patricia, she already responded, said, we're just maintaining status quo. And, but, I'm just sharing information.
No, that's good. I mean, we're kind of in a path we have to take at the current time, but, no,
Yeah.
all information's
The other
good.
thing I have done is I told Gordon that I'm retiring and I'm gonna only be part-time. And I'm having him send all the weather reports to Mary, and Mary's gonna forward them to you as we have done in the past.
How about all your other pertinent correspondences, emails and everything? How is that? Is she taking care of everything?
Well, I come in twice a week, so I do my own emails
All right,
still.
I'm just checking, I'm just checking. So you're twice a week now, that's your schedule?
Well,
sort of.
twice to 3 times a week is what it's turning out to be, but whatever, it gets things done. I check in to make sure that the building permits are signed, and, I'm not gonna be approving plans and whatever. So everything keeps moving. That's the other thing was, Mary, we're probably gonna have to notify, the realtors to not wait till the last minute for their paperwork, because I'm not thrilled with the idea of coming in to sign it for a realtor, if that's all there is.
Yeah, I was gonna see if, I can hang like some notices on our bulletin board with,
Well, no, I think we just should send a notice to the realtors' offices and just let them know.
it's gonna be a lot of work though and a lot of expense.
Well, there's only like, what, 4 major offices.
Okay.
I know not every single realtor, hell, no, but
I mean, if you want to
Once
do a
we-
blanket like that, you could go
once-
to a pass.
once we send it to the major realtors, the word will get out, there's no question. So, I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
I mean, not only that, they saw in the paper that I left. They'll be
Yeah.
happy that I'm staying on.
Well, an emergency on one part doesn't constitute an emergency on the other.
Well,
You're right, waiting till the last minute is,
Well, you know, there's no need of it.
it's not anybody's fault, no matter
I
when
mean,
it
if
is.
it, well, especially now, the worst of the weather's over.
Right.
I mean, before we were hop, skip, and jumping, but it shouldn't be a problem now.
That it?
I don't see anything else. I think we're good. Our next meeting is Monday, April 21st, 2014. And I guess we'll adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Adjourned.